Well, this can only mean one thing. I'm back on the road, heading up to Whittlemere. It's Friday the 7th of April. It's now 5:15, so I've hit traffic all the way from home in Bedfordshire. Black Cat wasn't as bad because I hit that from a different direction rather than the A1. But yeah, it's just been slow moving traffic all the way. A little bit quicker now. I'm just coming up to Peterborough. I'll be pulling off the A1 very shortly. Another trip out of the blue. I've obviously been doing something right. Doing the garden last weekend and cleaning the oven and bits and pieces I've done this week has obviously given me a good amount of brownie points. Just a suggestion again from the wife. She's heading up to Peterborough tomorrow anyway to see friends. So it was a case of, well, do I come with you or do you come and see me while I'm fishing down the lake? So I'm going to have a visitor tomorrow. Got a visitor in the back of the truck as well. Got my dog with me this session, which would be nice. Hopefully, she hasn't been fishing with me for a couple of years overnight. We'll have to see how she settles. But she weren't going to let me go without bringing her this time. She basically jumped in the back of the car as soon as I started loading up. Yeah, so nothing's prepared. I haven't been up for 2 weeks. There's been a few fish coming out. I know there was the first 30 of the year was caught during the week. So the bigger ones are waking up, because I know up till then, sort of 24, 25 I think was the biggest. I've literally just grabbed some bait out of the freezer. I haven't prepped anything, which is unlike me. I normally have everything. My trips, although not generally short, they are planned, and I normally have stuff ready to go. This trip is literally ad hoc. I've raided the freezer for food, saved me stopping at the shop because of how late it is that I've left. Should have enough, if not, like I say, hopefully the wife's going to pop down and see me tomorrow anyway, so she can bring me some more supplies. Just come off the A1 now, just into Peterborough, so I'm going to concentrate on my driving, get myself to the lake. Not sure how busy it's going to be this week. Sun's out, it's looking nice, maybe a few on, but yeah, I'm going to give it a go and see what happens, but I'll keep you posted as soon as I get there. Well, I'm here, I'm set up, peg 7, again another area I've never fished. Lovely swim, it's actually been a lovely evening. A few guys on, I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, I think there's 5, 6 of us, including me now, on. Fishing the deeper part again, opposite me over my shoulder there, there, I think, nope, next one, that one over there. This isn't working. There. That's where I fished last time I was down. That's peg 14, so I'm directly opposite it. There's a couple of lads. There's one in there. One in the next swim round. There's one over my right shoulder in swim 11. Seen a few moving, which is a good sign. I've got one rod, found a clear area in sort of open water somewhere, roughly where that goose is now. And then I've got a sort of snag round to my right hand side, a tree that comes out into the water. So I've got a rod on there, and then I've put out a zig, which I'm going to leave out all night. It's because time's getting on. I didn't want to risk like washing the lead around too much and it getting dark before I got the rods set. So I'll put a zig out for now. I'll leave that out all night, and then I'll have a bit more of a lead round tomorrow. Sort of mid-morning time. It's meant to be a bright day again tomorrow, so we just have to wait and see. Nut job again on the 2 rods. The zig I dunked in the nut job glug before it went out. It literally dunked, so it's not going to linger for too long, but it's going to give it a little bit of a booster. So yeah. Oh yeah, the other thing, thanks for the response I've had from the other videos. Some of you seem to be enjoying it. A few little things people have said regarding how I film, doing it in portrait, landscape, sorry, rather than portrait, so I get a full, sort of full shot every time. So hopefully, if I remember, that's what I'll be doing from now on. But yeah, rods are set. It's about 7:30 now. So yeah, we'll just have to see what the night brings. Hopefully a fish. Okay, 5:30 on the Saturday morning. This one rattled off about 15 minutes ago, just over £13. Off the middle rod, nut job. I had Stelly had her on the hook pop up. But yeah, give a good account for itself. It looks quite an old fish. I don't know if it's one of the newer ones or that's just aged, or whether it's an original. Looks a bit gnarly. But yeah, more than happy with that. Well, after that early result, I've got the rods back out, but as you can see, it's still a bit foggy out there. I have to excuse my dog. Doesn't like me talking to myself, so she has to come for. So I have to put up with. Bless you. But anyway, yes. So the rods went back out. The rod went back out. Well, both of them. I picked up my left-hand rod on the way in, so. The left-hand rod was a zig. The middle rod I've cast in the general direction of where I had that fish from, but you know, it's like when it's thick fog, you're never 100% sure whether you're in the right place. I'm at the right distance. I sort of felt the lead down, felt a bit softer than where I cast yesterday, but I didn't really want to go banging leads around just in case there's still fish in the area. Well, yeah, rods are back out. I had sort of an aborted take on, well, possibly a liner actually, on the right hand rod, which is down there somewhere in the fog. It is slowly clearing, but I think it's going to be a good few hours yet before it totally disappears. It's meant to be a nice day today. There's a lovely little bay to my left, just to the left of peg 8, and I've been told they do like getting in there. It's meant to be up to about 19-20 degrees today, so I can imagine they're going to might get one or two moving down there. So I've just made up a little mix of pellet and sweet corn, crushed and whole, boilies, 10 millers, and some the old nut job glug. I've knocked that up last night, so that's ready to go in a little bit later. See if I can get them going in the edge. But yeah, until as soon as this mist clears, fog clears, I'll be recasting that middle rod again, just to make sure it's on the money.
Well, that's been a frustrating 2 hours. This fog, literally, it's only just clearing. You can see it still rolling off the water, but I could see distance-wise how far, you know, the area that I've been casting that middle rod to, but I just couldn't see the far bank markers, and it is, the area that I'm fishing is really tight. So I had to wait for the mist to clear. It still took me 2 casts to get it onto the spot, but I got it out. I put a little bit more bait in this morning, topping up the swim, but I don't know, probably 150, 200 boilies, something like that. There's a lot of fish in here, so you know, if one's feeding, there's going to be a few feeding. I use the stick, as you see on the video. I sort of spread around that area, but yeah, I think it was the right thing to do, because they say that I can't see them swimming around individually. There'll be a few round. I only put out probably 50 baits last night, and to be honest, 150, even 200 baits scattered is not a lot. You know, it's not like it's all going on the same bin lid size thing. There was sprayed sort of all over the area, so it doesn't look like a lot of bait, but hopefully it'll get them mooching around if they move back into the swim. I'm going to go up into this little bay in a little while and go and stick a bit of my little mix in there, because this sun is clearing. The mist is clearing, and it is going to be a nice bright day today. It'll be nice and warm. The wind has swung now. It's actually blowing into that bay. Yesterday it was more sort of left to right. Now it's sort of blowing diagonally right at me, which means it'll be blowing into that bay. So I'm going to put some of the that mix out that I made and give that a go. I haven't actually seen any carp this morning. Heard some during the night last night, that in front of peg 12. If I hadn't had that fish at 5 this morning, I would have been moving. But we'll see. We'll see how the day pans out. And this dog, she can smell boilies. You're not having anything, Toya. She's more like a pointer than a lap retriever. She can smell the pop-ups down there. That's what she's doing. Can't you, Toya? You're bad. Anyway, yeah. So I'm going to go and get some that mix out in the bay. Keep an eye on that this morning. When that sun gets up, I think it's going to be warm. And we'll see where we go from there. I'm thinking of a move. Not far, only next door, peg 8. I've seen 2 fish show in front of there this morning. I've seen nothing out in front of me. I saw 2 fish last night as well show there in and around the same sort of area. I'll still be able to get what would be my right hand rod on the area that I had the fish from early hours of this morning. But it also means I can keep an eye on that bay down the end. I put some stuff out there not long ago. I've been up to have a look already. The reeds are knocking slightly, but to be honest, I think that's small fish rather than carp. Still got the wind sort of blowing in down that way now. It's like a southeasterly, I suppose, something like that. I don't know. I've just seen nothing out in front of me here, so like I say, I can still keep a rod on the area where I had the fish from, so you know, that produced for me this morning. Just in 2 minds now what to do. Looks nice now. All that mist is cleared, so you can see the far bank really easily now, and that sun's getting up where I am. The actual it's slightly in the shade. The big trees there to the right hand side, but you go up the bank and it's nice and warm. The sun's out. Don't know. I think I'm going to keep an eye on it just to see. Yeah, this is where I am now. And swim 8 is only next door, but I've seen fish showing sort of in line with peg 9, which is there, and probably where the end of my finger is. Twice now I've seen fish show there, and one out a little bit further. But like I say, from peg 8 I can still get my rod out here, as long as obviously no one comes and jumps in 7 if I do move. I'm just making myself a cup of tea and have a think about what I want to do. I was surprised that rod there hasn't produced actually. I thought that one would go out of all of them. Nice and close to them snags, but wasn't to be on that rod. Well, not yet anyway. But as you can see, down in the edge there, Monsieur Pike, waiting for his dinner to flick past his nose. Yeah, I think I'm just waiting for one more fish to show up there. If I see one more, that would be a guaranteed move then. I did hear a lot of fish out in front of 12 last night as well, so they're all over the shop. But I'll just keep my eyes on the water and see what happens. I'm just finishing my lap of the lake. Thought I'd have a quick walk around and see if I can see anything. But no, nothing. There's a chap down in peg 2, Daryl. He hasn't had anything either. He hasn't seen anything. Now them fish I saw in peg 8 seem to be the only ones that have really shown this morning that people have actually seen. So needless to say, when I get back to the swim, I'll be moving. So it's only next door, so it shouldn't take me too long. Move the rods, get them in position, and then I can faff around with all the rest of my stuff. But yeah, I'm just coming up to this little bay where I put the bait earlier. Just spin the camera around. Yeah, I've put bait just by those reeds there. That water looks a lot cloudier, and there's loads of crap that looks like it's popped to the top. That could have been fish coming in and disturbing the bottom where I put that food. Interesting. I'll have to put a little bit more out there and get everything moved into peg 8 and get back round. You know, I can keep a good eye on here. It's not too far away from peg 7, but too far for me to leave my rods. So yeah, peg 8 is only just up there. So, oh, interesting. Well, we shall see. Well, as you can see, change of swim. I've moved into swim 8. Took me a damn sight longer. Dad popped down to see me, sat having coffees and what have you. So literally I've only just managed to get the rods back out. I've managed to get the rod back over on the spot that I caught the fish off from this morning. A bit tighter angle than what I thought it was going to be, but I managed to get the rod there. Where I saw fish last night and this morning, put a lead out there where I roughly thought it was. Found a real solid area, really went down hard. Put a couple of foam nuggets in a bit of PVA stocking, cast that out, wait for that to pop to the surface, went round into the swim I was in, had a look across, and it was more or less bang on the money. So obviously confidence is quite high with that one. And left down rod is over my shoulder near the entrance of the bay. Got a zig on there, 3-foot zig. Seen a couple of dorsals coming out of the water around that corner, so they're up in the water. Hopefully give them something they want further up. But
But yeah, so rods are out, still got a bit of sorting out to do. But yeah, keep you posted, fingers crossed with a fish. I don't know what to do now. I'm set up in 8, rods are out. Typically I haven't seen a thing since I've been in here, but I've seen a lot of fish showing in front of 12. I don't think it's been fished much recently, and the wind now is blowing straight into that bank. Obviously it's a lovely warm day, the wind is not cold at all. God, I hate fishing sometimes. It wouldn't take me long to get round there, but it'll be sod's law that I'll move round there and they'll all start showing over here again. I don't know. To be honest, I'm not really feeling it anymore. I was full of confidence when I moved in here, but don't know what's happened, but I've got a feeling if I do put my stuff in the car, it won't be to move, it'll be to go home. See, conditions aren't brilliant. Might pick one up on a zig, but don't know. Tough one. Plus side, it's a bonus. Lovely day. Well, yeah, I moved. I'm now in 12, which is more or less directly opposite where I was fishing. And let me just flip the camera around. Yeah, so I'm now in 12, where I saw them fish show, and I came round here. I was sort of in two minds on what I was going to do, whether I was going to set up or go home. But I got round here and I saw fish, so you know, you got to be here to catch them. Obviously peg 8 is over there, that's where I was. This is where I've seen the fish. Took a while to find some sort of reasonable areas. Again, it's very weedy out here, but one of the obvious ones down on the reed line off the point. I've got one out in open water at 60 yards, found a nice again clearer area, still some strands of weed, but nothing really worth worrying about. And then the left down rod, I've taken the zig off and I've put a solid bag on that, and I sort of sat waiting until I saw a fish, and I put it on its head. So it's in an area where the fish have been. Well, yeah, it's going to be another nice evening. I ain't moving again. If the fish aren't here now, well, tough. But no, it's looking good. The wind is, well, you can see it's blowing into this bank. The sun's still up. It is now, I think it's about 5:30. Yeah, 25 to 6 at the moment. But I've got this whole sort of part of the lake to myself. There's only one other on, although a new member's just turned up. Having a look around. But yeah, there's another chap in 19, and that's it. Which surprised me for this weekend. I thought he was going to be busy, but we just have to wait and see. Traps are set. A can of Stella in hand. What more could you want? Morning, 20 past 6.
Sunday morning now. Haven't moved. Still in peg 12. Nothing to report. All quiet on the fishing front, but I had fish on me all night. I must have sat up till 12 o'clock. Fish showing, you know, within the vicinity of where I'm fishing. And then I was up again at 3. Still out there they were. Saw a couple, and then just heard a couple. I've only been awake about 20 minutes. And I've seen 2 already. I'm just wondering whether the presentation isn't brilliant on the middle rod. There is a bit of weed around that area. You know, your hook bait only needs to be hung up on a strand of that, and you may as well not be fishing. I don't really want to risk a recast just in case it spooks them out the area. Oh, toss of a coin now. They're there. I gave him a bit of bait last night as well, or yesterday when I set up. Must have been, I don't know, 3/4 of a kilo I put out around there. But again, a kilo of bait spread over a large area isn't a lot of bait at all. Sort of plan has worked to the extent it's actually kept the fish in the area. And they've been there, I say, all night. But just not a pickup. Still got a few hours. I need to be off here for about 10. Nice Sunday roast this afternoon. But yeah, it's just a case now of deciding whether I go for a recast. Maybe just put a choddy on that one, a long running choddy, and just horse that into the area. I've got a sort of stiff hinge rig on that one. Well, combi rig, stiff hook part, and then a supple boom. Fishing on a helicopter setup. And when I fish helicopters, I always have the top bead. Depending on what sort of bottom I'm fishing. At the moment, I've got the top bead about a foot up the line. So, you know, the lead can go into a foot's worth of silt or a foot's worth of weed. I foam up my hook baits, so they're going to be popped up, you know, when the lead first goes in the water, and then it's really slow sinking. So the presentation side of it should be all right. I've definitely found their playground. I just need to find their dinner table. But it's going to be another lovely day. The sun's just coming up behind me. Got this wind blowing back into this corner. It picked up again at about 3:30 this morning. Started blowing back in here. Right, yeah, the sun's just coming up. It looks like it's going to be another lovely day. But yeah, they're out there where I'm fishing. That dip in the trees there. Aiming for that at 60 yards, 15 wraps for anyone who wants to fish in this swim. And there is weed around, but there is quite a firm area. You can get the lead landing. And that's where they've been showing. I've heard a few as well down in the other part of the lake. Through the channel. They've been crashing around there. There's a lad in there. Friday night, and he hadn't seen anything. I saw one yesterday afternoon, that was it. So, don't know. But they haven't moved. We'll keep plugging away. Yeah, so it's got the better of me. I've seen another 2 fish showing that area. You know, I could wait and think, oh, it's going to happen, but I'm just not very happy about my presentation out there at the moment. So I'm going to put a choddy on. I'll do things a little bit differently when I fish choddies. Well, I say different, people do it. Something I've done for a while now. Rather than using like a stiff monofilament or bristle filament, there I use a stiff coated hook link. This is the Corda hybrid, I think it is, the stiff stuff. And then what I've done, basically I've looped it, it's doubled over. So basically I've got a loop there onto the swivel, and then you can fish it sort of multi-rig style. So then all I do, a little bit of dental floss through the loop itself, like so, and then thread the dental floss. This is a size 6 choddy style hook. Pull that from the front of the hook out to the back. So then that's through like so. Small ring swivel, that goes on, and then you loop, you pass back over, point your hook, put it down a little bit, and then that way you're fishing a multi-rig chod style. Don't worry about that bit of corn, that's coming off. I left that on so I didn't lose the loop. We'll get a shot of that. Get our Stella Yellows. Go on. Dental floss work through the eye. Not teaching you how to suck eggs. This isn't a bloody it's not a how-to video, but I know some of you are interested in my rigs that I've been using. Snip that. So that looks all nice and pretty, like so. Do a light up and just blob the end down, like so. So yeah, there you have it. My version of chod setup, fishing multi-rig style. I moved on to fish. I didn't catch. Would I have caught if I'd stayed in peg 8? Maybe. But if I'd blanked, I would have been kicking myself that, you know, that I hadn't moved. So, other than the flat battery at the end of the session, yeah, another good couple of nights down there. It's all part of the jigsaw puzzle. And it's all coming together nicely. So until next time, go out and enjoy yourself. And remember, it's only fishing.